Hello, today is Saturday, July 11th, 2026. Here is your daily signal. According to the Associated Press, Kuwait and Bahrain are facing incoming missiles after the U.S. military attacked Iran, following Tehran's strike on 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. has conducted military strikes against Iranian targets in the past, which have affected regional stability and energy markets. The Persian Gulf region is critical for global oil supply, transporting over 20 million barrels per day through the Strait of Hormuz, and disruptions here due to military conflict can lead to fluctuations in oil prices and heightened concerns about energy security. The U.S. military launched airstrikes targeting Iranian-backed militias in Iraq on July 11, 2026, raising concerns over energy supply routes in the Gulf. Saudi Arabia responded by calling an emergency meeting of GCC oil ministers to assess potential impacts on crude supply security. Near term, there may be increased risk premiums on oil prices and temporary supply chain disruptions if escalation continues. Medium term, we could see shifts in regional alliances and accelerated investment in alternative energy routes or suppliers among Gulf states. Ongoing instability may prompt global strategic reserves releases or coordinated response plans by energy importing countries. Next, onto market responses to the U.S.-Iran conflict. Associated Press reports that oil prices have jumped and Asian shares are mixed after President Donald Trump raised doubts about the temporary truce in the war with Iran. Tensions between the U.S. and Iran have historically led to sharp movements in global oil prices, given both countries' strategic positions in the energy market. For example, the January 2020 drone strike on General Qasem Soleimani caused Brent crude oil to spike over 4% within days. Volatility intensifies as supply concerns grow, especially since the Strait of Hormuz is a major flashpoint where a third of the world's seaborne oil passes. Stock indices like the S&P 500 and Dow Jones typically react to Middle East uncertainty with immediate declines, followed by varied recovery trajectories. Major U.S. oil companies such as ExxonMobil and Chevron see rapid share price swings in response to Middle Eastern tensions, while central players like OPEC and Saudi Arabia influence supply shocks. The International Energy Agency regularly issues supply outlooks that sway market sentiment and leadership in Iran and the U.S. Department of State can trigger reactions through geopolitical statements. In the near term, further escalations may drive Brent crude above $90 per barrel, increasing costs for global importers and creating inflationary pressures. Sustained conflict could disrupt shipping in the Persian Gulf, amplifying market volatility and possibly leading to releases from the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Stock markets worldwide, particularly in energy-sensitive sectors, may experience sharp sell-offs followed by selective rebounds as tensions develop. Medium term, there is potential for realignment of global energy supply chains and increased investment in alternative energy as risk hedges. Moving to the impact of AI image generation models on digital advertising campaigns. TechCrunch notes that Meta has rolled out Muse, a new AI image generator, with applications reaching advertising and creator-led opportunities. AI image generation models such as DALL-E, Midjourney, and Stable Diffusion have been used by digital advertisers since 2022. These models employ algorithms trained on vast datasets to create bespoke images at scale, reducing reliance on traditional photography. Brands leverage AI-generated visuals to accelerate creative production and improve campaign customization, though the integration of AI in ad design brings questions about copyright, authenticity, and consumer engagement. Key companies include OpenAI, Stability AI, Adobe, and Google. Major ad buyers like Unilever, Nike, and Procter & Gamble are actively using AI tools. Regulatory bodies such as the FTC and the EU's AI Act are scrutinizing ethical use, while agencies like Ogilvy and WPP have incorporated AI into campaigns. A report from Adweek reveals that AI-generated ad creatives from Midjourney accounted for 37% of digital campaign visuals for Fortune 100 brands in Q3. Adobe launched its Firefly for Enterprise advertising service to enable large-scale AI image creation for digital campaigns, and Google partnered with WPP to integrate Imagen AI into personalized advertising workflows, boosting campaign efficiency by 25%. Near-term, creative turnaround times may drop from days to hours as brands utilize AI image generation tools, and medium-term, AI-generated imagery could shift ad budgets away from stock photo providers and human photographers. Authenticity concerns may lead to new regulations or disclosure requirements for AI-generated ad content, while campaign performance metrics can improve due to more customized and rapid creative iteration. Now, onto the markets. Among international markets, Italy posted a strong day with the EWI ETF up about 0.51%, while Spain's EWP climbed nearly 0.47%, marking the highest momentum among European peers. Germany's EWG remained slightly negative at -0.12%, and Belgium's EWK lagged with a drop of over 1.3%. In Asia, Taiwan's EWT surged by more than 1%, and Japan's EWJ rose 1.1%, outpacing most other regional indexes. China large caps buyer FXI moved up very modestly at 0.2%, while Hong Kong's EWH led gains for the region with a daily jump of 1.36%. Commodities saw mixed action. Gold GLD dipped slightly by 0.3%, silver SLV lost 0.35%, but platinum PPLT gained about 1%, and uranium URA rallied 1.46% for the sector's top move. U.S. oil USO slipped nearly 0.3%, while agriculture DBA advanced 0.2%. Corn showed the strongest growth at 1.33%. On the favorites list, NVIDIA gained 4.03% as the top gainer, while Axon tumbled 2.78%. Micron MU slid 1.2%, Oracle fell 2.48%, but AMD posted a strong 2% advance, and Microsoft MSFT was up a modest 0.19%. The S&P 500 SPY moved higher by 0.43%. While semiconductors SOX was nearly flat, and healthcare Roman 45 slipped 0.82%. That's it for today. You can find more news and details on our website. Goodbye.